The year is 2025. We find ourselves in an era where technology and globalization have intertwined our lives in ways previously unimaginable. The world is more connected than ever before, with information, goods and people moving across borders at unprecedented speeds. We live in a world that's getting more and more connected. Our daily lives are influenced by events happening thousands of miles away. A decision made in one country can ripple across the globe, affecting economies, environments, and societies. What happens in one corner of the globe can affect us all. From climate change to economic crises, from pandemics to political unrest, the challenges we face are increasingly global in nature. No longer can any nation afford to act in isolation. That's why we need the United Nations now more than ever. The UN serves as a beacon of hope and a platform for cooperation, bringing together countries from every corner of the world to address these shared challenges. The UN is an organization of countries from all over the world. It provides a unique forum where nations can come together to discuss and resolve issues that affect us all. It's a place where dialogue and diplomacy take precedence over conflict and division. It was created after World War II. In the aftermath of the most devastating conflict in human history, world leaders recognized the need for a new system of international cooperation. The goal was to prevent such a catastrophe from ever happening again. Its main goal is simple: to keep the peace. But achieving peace is anything but simple. It requires constant effort, negotiation, and sometimes intervention. UN peacekeepers are deployed in some of the most volatile regions of the world, working tirelessly to maintain stability and protect civilians. But the UN is more than just about stopping wars. It's about building a better world. The UN's work spans a wide range of issues, from humanitarian aid to health, from education to economic development. Its agencies and programs are on the ground in every corner of the globe, making a tangible difference in people's lives. It's about working together to solve the world's biggest problems. Climate change, for instance, is a challenge that no single country can tackle alone. It requires a coordinated global response, and the UN provides the framework for that cooperation. Think about poverty, hunger, and climate change. These are issues that transcend borders and require collective action. The UN's Sustainable Development Goals provide a blueprint for addressing these challenges and achieving a better and more sustainable future for all. These are all things that no single country can fix on its own. It takes a village, or in this case, a global community. The UN fosters this sense of global solidarity, encouraging countries to work together for the common good. The UN acts like a big forum where countries can come together to talk about these challenges. It's a place where every nation, big or small, has a voice. Through dialogue and negotiation, countries can find common ground and develop solutions that benefit everyone. They can share ideas and find solutions that benefit everyone. The exchange of knowledge and expertise is invaluable, helping countries to learn from each other's experiences and implement best practices. It's not always easy, and there are definitely disagreements along the way. Diplomacy is a complex and often contentious process. But the UN provides a structured environment where these disagreements can be managed and resolved through peaceful means. But the UN gives us a chance to work towards a better future, together. It reminds us that despite our differences, we share a common humanity. We all aspire to live in a world that is peaceful, prosperous, and just. It reminds us that we are all part of one global family. Our fates are intertwined and our actions have far-reaching consequences. By working together through the UN, we can build a world that reflects our highest ideals and values, and that's something worth fighting for. The United Nations stands as a testament to what we can achieve when we come together in the spirit of cooperation and mutual respect. It is a symbol of our collective commitment to a better future for all. So, how does the UN actually work? Well, it's like a big organization with many different parts. Each part has its own specific job to do. At the heart of the UN are its main organs. Think of these like the different branches of a government. You have the General Assembly, the Security Council, the International Court of Justice, the Economic and Social Council, the Secretariat, and the Trusteeship Council. The General Assembly is like the big meeting hall. This is where all the member countries have a seat at the table. They get to vote on important issues and make their voices heard. The Security Council is like the smaller, more powerful group. It deals with threats to peace and security. Then you have the International Court of Justice, which is like the World Court. It helps to settle legal disputes between different countries. And we can't forget about the Economic and Social Council. It focuses on improving the lives of people around the world. They deal with things like economic development, human rights, and social progress. Let's zoom in on the General Assembly, or GA for short. The General Assembly is one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations, and serves as a unique forum for multilateral discussion of international issues including peace and security. It is the only part of the UN where every single member country has an equal say, making it a cornerstone of global diplomacy. This is the only part of the UN where every single member country has an equal say. Each of the 193 member states of the United Nations is represented in the General Assembly, making it a truly global institution. Here, the voices of small island nations can be heard just as loudly as those of the world's superpowers. It's like a big parliament of nations. Imagine a grand hall filled with representatives from every corner of the globe, each bringing their unique perspectives and concerns to the table. The General Assembly operates much like a global town hall meeting, where issues of international importance are discussed and debated. Each country, big or small, rich or poor, gets one vote. This principle of equality ensures that the voices of all nations are heard, regardless of their economic or military power. The voting process is a critical aspect of the General Assembly's operations, as it allows for democratic decision-making on a global scale. The GA meets every year, usually in September in New York City. This annual gathering is a significant event in the international calendar, drawing world leaders, diplomats, and representatives from all member states to the UN headquarters. The city becomes a hub of diplomatic activity, with discussions and negotiations taking place both inside and outside the General Assembly Hall. World leaders fly in from all corners of the globe to discuss pressing global issues. These issues range from climate change and sustainable development to international security and human rights. The presence of so many influential figures in one place underscores the importance of the General Assembly as a platform for addressing the world's most urgent challenges. They debate and discuss everything from disarmament to human rights to the UN budget. The debates can be intense and passionate, reflecting the diverse viewpoints and interests of the member states. These discussions are crucial for building consensus and finding common ground on complex international issues. The GA's decisions are made through resolutions. These resolutions are the outcome of extensive deliberations and negotiations among the member states. They represent the collective will of the international community and provide guidance on a wide range of issues. These are basically formal statements that reflect the majority view of the member states. While they are not legally binding, they carry significant moral and political weight. Resolutions can influence national policies and international relations, encouraging countries to align their actions with the agreed-upon principles. While these resolutions aren't legally binding, they carry a lot of moral weight. The moral authority of the General Assembly's resolutions can put pressure on countries to comply with international norms and standards. This is particularly important in areas such as human rights, where global consensus can drive positive change. Think of it like this: if most of the world agrees on something, it puts pressure on countries to take action. The collective voice of the General Assembly can be a powerful force for encouraging cooperation and compliance with international agreements. This dynamic helps to foster a sense of global responsibility and shared commitment to addressing common challenges. The GA also plays a big role in setting the UN's agenda and budget. The General Assembly's decisions on these matters shape the priorities and activities of the United Nations for the coming year. This includes allocating resources to various programs and initiatives aimed at promoting peace, development, and human rights around the world. It's a place where every country has a platform to voice its concerns and work towards common goals. The General Assembly provides a unique opportunity for countries to present their views and propose solutions to global problems. This inclusive approach helps to ensure that the interests of all nations are considered in the decision-making process. In a world where power is often unevenly distributed, the GA is a powerful symbol of international cooperation. It embodies the principles of equality and mutual respect, demonstrating that even the smallest nations have a voice in shaping the future of our world. The General Assembly's commitment to inclusivity and dialogue is essential for building a more just and peaceful global community. Now let's talk about the Security Council, or the SC for short. The Security Council is one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations, and it holds a unique and critical role in the international system. Unlike other UN bodies, The SC has the authority to make decisions that member states are obligated to implement under the UN Charter. This makes it a powerful entity in the realm of international relations. This is where things get a bit more serious. The SC is tasked with the primary responsibility of maintaining international peace and security. This is no small feat, considering the complex and often volatile nature of global politics. The decisions made here can have far-reaching consequences, affecting millions of lives and shaping the course of history. The SC is responsible for maintaining international peace and security. It operates continuously, unlike the General Assembly, which meets in regular sessions. The SC can convene at any time whenever peace is threatened. This flexibility allows it to respond swiftly to emerging crises, making it a crucial component of the UN's peacekeeping efforts. It has the power to impose sanctions, authorize military action, and even dispatch peacekeeping forces. These measures are designed to prevent conflict, restore peace, and ensure that international laws are upheld. Sanctions can range from economic restrictions to travel bans, while military actions might involve deploying troops to conflict zones to protect civilians and maintain order. Unlike the GA, where everyone gets an equal vote, the SC has a more exclusive membership. This exclusivity is intended to streamline decision-making and ensure that the most influential countries are directly involved in maintaining global peace. However, this structure has also been a source of contention and debate. There are 5 permanent members: China, France, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. These countries were granted permanent seats due to their significant roles in establishing the UN and their status as major powers at the end of World War II. Their permanent membership comes with special privileges and responsibilities. These are the victors of World War II, and they hold significant sway in international affairs. Their influence is not just historical but also practical, as they possess the military, economic, and political power to enforce the SC's decisions. This has made them key players in the maintenance of international peace and security. Then there are 10 non-permanent members that are elected by the GA for 2-year terms. These members are chosen to represent different regions of the world, ensuring a diverse and balanced representation. Their role is to bring regional perspectives to the SC's deliberations and contribute to the decision-making process. Now, here's where things get a bit controversial. The structure of the SC, particularly the veto power held by the permanent members, has been a subject of intense debate and criticism. While some see it as a necessary mechanism to prevent unilateral actions, others argue that it undermines the democratic principles of the UN. The 5 permanent members have veto power. This means that if even one of them votes against a resolution, it fails, regardless of how many other countries support it. This power was designed to ensure that the major powers would remain engaged in the UN and prevent the organization from taking actions that could lead to direct conflict between them. This means that if even one of them votes against a resolution, it fails, regardless of how many other countries support it. The veto power has been used numerous times since the UN's inception, often leading to deadlock on critical issues. This has sparked debates about the need for reform within the SC to make it more representative and effective. This veto power has been both praised and criticized over the years. Proponents argue that it prevents rash decisions and ensures that the interests of the major powers are considered. Critics, however, contend that it gives too much power to a select few and can be used to block important resolutions that have widespread support. Some argue that it's necessary to prevent the UN from taking action that could lead to a larger conflict between major powers. They believe that the veto power acts as a safeguard against the escalation of conflicts and helps maintain a balance of power. This perspective emphasizes the importance of stability and caution in international relations. Others criticize it for giving too much power to a select few and hindering the UN's ability to address pressing global crises. They argue that the veto can be used to protect national interests at the expense of global peace and security. This has led to calls for reform, with suggestions ranging from limiting the use of the veto to expanding the number of permanent members to include emerging powers. In conclusion, the Security Council plays a pivotal role in maintaining international peace and security. Its structure and powers reflect the complexities of global politics and the challenges of achieving consensus among diverse nations. While it has its flaws, the SC remains a cornerstone of the UN's efforts to create a more peaceful and stable world.